to Cool Coffee with Kansas Principals. By and for school administrators, this podcast is intended to promote candid discussion and insight about our great profession. My name is Rick Sola, and as Communications Director for the Kansas Principals Association, I am the host, but I am certainly not the feature. Sit back, take a sip, and enjoy. This is Cool Coffee with Kansas Principals. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Cool Coffee with Kansas Principals. Thank you for joining me today on what will be the conclusion of Season 2, but certainly not the conclusion of this podcast. But we will take a brief summer break of pushing out content. But I'm going to leave you with a couple thoughts and then really an appeal to the network out there, the KPA network, the listeners of this show. So a couple thoughts. Over the past year, I've noticed contradicting forces emerging in education, not just in Kansas, but nationwide. And that is the growing support to limit technology, specifically in the way of like screen time and in the way of the classroom, but also then in the growing use of AI, artificial intelligence, in schools, and especially the use of AI amongst students, which can either be done in a positive and supportive manner or certainly can be used in ways that would constitute cheating. But either way, this technology is not going back in the bag. But on this show, I've had guests on speaking in great support of artificial intelligence and its use amongst not just educators, but students, because, A, it's a useful tool, and B, simply our students just need to know. It's their future. They need to know how to use it, and they need to use it effectively and appropriately. But that contradiction is there because there is growing support to not just limit technology, but even to do away with it, especially in the younger ages. Recently, one of the teacher unions spoke out against the use of AI and proponent for use of no screens in grades 2nd and below. Some schools and districts have already taken that step in the area, in the state, but also beyond. And so there is that contradiction. So I bring all of this up, not to weigh in on one side or the other, but this is the type of conversation that we have had on this show. But all that to say, this is just one of many relevant topics to the building principal. But there are countless topics that are relevant to us in the chair. So what's important to me as a podcast, as a host of a podcast that's by and for school principals, I would love to hear from you. And I would love to hear from your network. And so what I'm asking for, and you can just click into the show notes to do this, but send me topics. My email's in there. Send me topics of interest of yours, topics that would be of relevance to you. Maybe even more important, send me guest ideas. Who do you nominate for this show? Who do you nominate to be featured? Not just them, but their district and their ideas and what it is they're doing for kids in their building. Why do you nominate them to be featured for this show? And I would love to see those stories. I'd love to see that input. And I would love more to even reach out to those people and say, hey, you have been recommended, and KPA would like to feature you through this podcast. I want to hear from you, and I want the show not just to be a resource for you, our principals, but also a reminder that you are not alone in the chair, and there's a vast network of principals you can reach out to, which, by the way, every guest on this show, their contact information is included in the show notes. But we can all benefit from each other. So with that, this does conclude Season 2 of Cool Coffee, and I'm grateful to those who have reached out and shared that they just listened to the show. Thank you for listening. As the summer break is upon us, Cool Coffee, as I mentioned, will also take a brief hiatus from pushing out new content, but it will return with new material and new guests in August, and that is already in progress. And, as long as the Kansas Principals Association will have me, I will continue to host this fun vehicle for sharing all about this amazing profession we hold, which I've said before, it is the best profession that's not without its challenges, but it's also with so much fulfillment and most importantly, positive impact on young people who are going to grow up and contribute to society with some of the tools and skills we've helped bring to them. Please check the show notes for KPA contact information, for my contact information, and to learn more about the Kansas Principals Association and the value it can bring to you as a principal. If you are not from Kansas, thank you for listening. And I hope you have found this show to be a valuable resource for you. But certainly feel free to also reach out to us or any of our guests. We are all in this together. Please follow the show to ensure you catch our first episode of Season 3, which will drop in August. Leave your comments on your favorite platform, which, by the way, Cool Coffee is now on YouTube. I hope you all have a wonderful summer, and I look forward to sharing more content for all principals, both state and nationwide, to benefit from in August. Check the notes section for more information on this episode and to learn more about the KPA and its mission to develop and support all principals through optimized learning, collaborative leadership, networking, and service. Be sure to check back in for our next episode and spread the word about Cool Coffee with Kansas Principals. Catch you next time.